Yeah. Are most area rugs made on the rug road? Florida.
Have you gotten a sense from people? I mean, people fly and they're going to keep flying, and it is, a very, very safe way to travel overall. But have you gotten a sense from people that the trust in the airline business at all components is maybe not as strong as it used to be?
Well, listen, aviation is the safest form of flying, safest form of transportation by far, right? So flying is safe. The fact that we're experiencing these delays in Newark, obviously there's construction on the airport that has a negative impact on how many airplanes you can depart and arrive at that airport. So what happens is the system slows down so that we ensure the safety of the system and the flying public.
All right, Paul Rinaldi is a former air traffic controller who's now with the trade group Airlines for America. Paul, thanks.
Appreciate the time.
Sudan's wartime capital city, Port Sudan, is under attack. Drones bombed the city for the past 4 days. They were launched by the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, or RSF, which is at war with Sudan's army. NPR's Maniwaki has this report.
A show of defiance by Sudan's leader. On Tuesday, General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan stood on the roadside in Port Sudan with plumes of smoke from a drone strike in the backdrop. In Arabic, he promised that the shocking attacks on the city would be avenged. For the last 4 days, including this morning, drone strikes have struck military and civilian targets, including the airport, hotels, and an oil depot. Port Sudan became the temporary capital after fighting ignited in the port of Khartoum. And Sudan's Red Sea housed about up to 200 refugees. It's one of the few places where some among the 15 million people to feel safe and a good life. Now, and Lizzie went to the scene of the country was and their backers, the United Arab Emirates. On Tuesday, Sudan cut diplomatic ties with the UAE, who had been used for armed forces, backed by mounting evidence from rights groups and UN experts. The UAE denies this.
You're my soul.
Jumping along.
Rush takes a stand against the karate program at West Valley High School. Jenny auditions the talent for her brother's bachelor party, and Brady is convinced E.T. lives in his parents' basement.
Okay.
Yep. All that, and like I said, so much more new stuff that you've never heard before. Wherever you find podcasts, you will find the Hot Tub podcast. It looks like it's going to rain starting maybe in an hour or so. Today's high 17. Currently it's 14 degrees. Let us play Crush.
Doug's Magazine.
If you got an appointment, be here 45 minutes beforehand, because being stressed about whatever you're headed to the hospital for in the first place wasn't good enough. Let's also tack on, where am I going to park? Can I find parking? How long will it take me to get in? How much is it going to cost? It just, hospital parking will always be an issue. I think that people just wish it could get cleaned up, where if I have to go to the hospital, I got a place to park, and I don't have to pay an arm and a leg
and
for it.
You don't always take a day off work for an appointment. So when it's like, oh, okay, hang on, now I have to do on,
where am I going to...
Petersburg giving an 8.
Turned in.
You always take a day. I can't remember why, but there were free spots, and then people started getting tickets, and it's like, that was taken away. You listen to it, told me, it's like, oh yeah, I will go for a large walk just to not pay for parking.
You're the person I had to watch out for crossing the street. I was over at the...
But guess what?
God made...
Hey, you can't park there. You can't park there. When did you miss something or were extremely late because of the parking situation? 613-727-8855.
Ottawa's alternative rock, Live 88.5. It's just time for a little spring tune-up. Pack up your winter essentials and dig out your gardening tools, because we've got just what you need to get used to their work week. Start up with the Mountain Rock, weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. Hello. On Ottawa's alternative rock, Live 88.5.
Countdown.
Calorie. Calorie net.
Troops.
I'm Esther Chomakili. Soil and expert know-how for each.
Vegetables grow better together?
Hi, I'm Mike Ritchie. Find annual flowers and vegetables at your local Ritchie Feed and Seed location, along with pots, planters, and baskets for all...
7, then tonight, partly sunny.
I'm Esther Chomakili. Soil and expert know-how for Easter.
Vegetables grow better.
Non-escalatory, proportionate.
Comes from NPR stations. Other contributors include the John D. and Catherine T.
The threats of government shutdowns. It needs to have stable, predictable funding so we can continue to modernize the system and give the American people the best, safest system in the world.
Now, United is a member of your group, Everyone's for America.
Let's do this.
Go, Alberto. 3, 2, 1.
Name a part on a card.
The bumper. Yeah. Is the first Ottawa Charge playoff game on the road or at home?
Okay. What U.S. state calls itself the
Plane is on the radar.
Oregon, North Dakota, or Florida?
Live 88.5.
Hi, I'm Robert. You can make your stove more efficient by using the burner that best matches the curtain pot size. Using lids will also allow you to cook at a lower setting.
Living Green. Tips for a greener Earth on Canada's first and only carbon-neutral radio station. Live 88.5.
Home is not a place. It's a feeling. A wellspring of comfort, joy, and connection that grows strong.
A Tonka truck right now, like the classic dump trucks, like listed right now.
Oh my gosh, everything we dreamed about.
Yeah, and there's like
Brittany will give you a second to cool down.
I bet though, it's just like, you're riding that high. You're like, okay,
I would be riding that high. I'd be like, I'm gonna pump some more iron to get to that
real. And I appreciate her saying, should I run down there and should I take this chance? Would I be able to get anything out of this? And you can see people with their phones. They're taking selfies. Like Gavin is known for every single time he does, even if it's outside of City Folk. He jumps down. He goes through the crowd. He climbs dangerous things like he was talking.
I should have
As always, where you can weigh in on anything you've heard on the show with your calls and texts to 613-727. I'm Robin.
If I shop around.
Of Pofftown.
WGZS. Hold on.
The Indian Armed Forces, one from the army.
Really?
jump on board.
State, and the idea of sound of because it's interesting.
In your
Eastern Europe.
The ongoing history of new music.
The Jones is 7 to 9 and Sunday evenings at 6 on Ottawa's Alternative.
Full transition on the next.
great.
My adventure started along the winding forested back roads that led to the trailhead.
Entirely solvent. It may not even be.
Strongly, and they did.
We continue to partner with Transworld Radio. If you're my listening friend, if you'd like to partner with Transworld Radio, please think for the Jesus campaign beginning next Tuesday on Ship Radio. I'm Ben Chapman.
Israel broke a ceasefire with lockdowns in Gaza. According to civil war. Prompted new I
that many organizations have been very successful with men. But in the music before, why?
The other is available at wisconsin.dopole.gov.
to the current superorganism with something fortunate in mind.
The process is like, since technically everybody gets sequestered in the steam chamber. Like,